Now let's discuss individual stocks and track some corporate developments. Ruchi Soya has forayed into the ready-to-cook category. To talk to us about this, we are joined by Mr. Sarvesh Shahara, Business Head, FMCG and Specialty Ingredients, Ruchi Soya. Thank you so much, Mr. Shahara, for joining us on NDTV Profit. Now, you've entered the ready-to-cook category. How are your products placed versus the competition in the market?
Hi, good afternoon. Nutrela's products, we have just rebranded the entire identity of Nutrela, and now you will see Nutrela in a new avatar in the market. The products that we have launched along with this identity are two. We have launched a range of ready mixes, which is going to be competing with the likes of MTR, GITS, but our product is quite different. It is fortified with protein, and it has the goodness of soya, and it is also formulated much better, so you can enjoy the best combination of convenience, health and taste. We've also launched instant soya, which is the first product of its type in the world, wherein we have re-engineered our existing soya range for the chunks format, and we have made it in a manner which cooks 3 times faster, making it far more easier to operate into your day-to-day cooking requirements. So with this, both these products are ready-to-cook products. One is ready mixes, one is soya. Along with this, we want to be able to bring far more convenience to the consumers, as well as make the cooking, day-to-day cooking, a lot more easier.
Shahara, how big is the market for ready-to-cook food, and is this mainly for the domestic market? Is this for exports? What kind of growth are you looking to register in this category?
The market size as we track it is about 850 crores or so, which includes ready to cook and ready to eat. This is only for the mixes and the retortable type of products. We plan to grow the market, as well as we plan to focus only on the domestic market. We feel that India has a huge potential. There are Indian consumers require these products. Habits are changing. Demands are there. Brand consciousness is increasing. Retail is changing. So we want to focus only on the Indian market for now. We've just made an entry. I think India has a huge landscape to cover.
Right, now talking about the overall business, we've seen, there's been some upward pressure on the prices of edible oils of late because of all the worries of the delayed monsoon. How does this affect your operations when you start sourcing? Will then your raw materials be more expensive?
Well, the raw materials definitely become more expensive when you have the kind of news that we hear every day, and even today there was news in the morning that the monsoon is going to get impacted. And while we finally don't know what will eventually happen with regards to the weather, but when it causes an increase in the raw material prices, we are able to manage because we have a huge base and we are importing as well as domestically producing across the country. So we are able to manage the pricing within our system, so we don't affect the market, number one. And to our consumers and our distributors, we're able to price them as competitively as possible on a day-to-day basis, depending on the oil, depending on the state that we are dealing with. We're able to manage it because of our complete integration from farm to fork. We're able to process imported oils, domestic oils across India. And so, with the scale that we are functioning on today, companies like us are able to manage the increase in price. Yes, these increases in price, commodity prices fluctuate all the time. So these short-term increases in prices can be quite easily managed. And yes, it could have a slight impact on a short-term basis, but on a monthly basis or a 2-monthly basis, it does not really impact our sales. And we have been growing volume-wise. There are those few things, there are those fluctuations which happen, and there are those things which happen, but we're able to recover the sales volumes in the forthcoming because it's a food product. People require consumption of oil on a daily basis, and multiple times in the day. They will buy oil.
Right. And I understand that, Mr. Shahara. Food products have a definite demand in our country. This demand is only expected to go higher. Now, if, say, sowing for the Kharif season gets delayed and this does impact the pricing to a significant amount, will you then pass on the cost? Can consumers then expect a higher price for oil and other products?
So in in oil, generally the margins are thinner than other FMCG products, so it's difficult to raise the prices. Companies usually have to bear the cost themselves in the short-term period. In the long-term period, if the brand has strength, then you can increase the price marginally, but in oils it's far more difficult to increase the price and pass on the entire thing to the market. Companies have to take a dent at times when the costs go up, so we have to find a balance. In other products like soya products and all, they're high margin products, so we find it quite easy to sometimes absorb the higher input costs. But yes, there are times when we do increase the prices also. It depends on the product, it depends on the market conditions, it also depends on the market and also type of distributors that we're dealing with, so, and the consumers we're focusing on. It has a combination of all these factors. But there are times, there are times when companies have to absorb these input costs, and we do that also quite frequently, but we try and balance so the market doesn't get affected and we're able to fulfill our demands from the market.
You know, the budget is around the corner, and last year your earnings were impacted by the kind of, you know, import duty structure there was on palm oil and the other things you import. Any expectations that some of these duties will be changed in the budget? What are your expectations?
It's a good question. Our expectation, and it's been talked about by our company many times before, we expect an optimal differentiation of duty between crude and refined oil. It should ideally be 10% for the balance of business, and also to make Indian industry as a whole more competitive to global industry, and also allow the companies in India who have invested significant amount of money in manufacturing across the country make good margins here. You know, Indian government's role and objective should be to protect Indian industry, and this kind of request to the government would be a call which would be for the entire industry as a whole, where not only the industry benefits but even the consumers benefit because products become more competitive. Yes, it has impact on the cost, but overall when the profitability increases, we don't have to pass on the cost to all the consumers and our trade partners. So definitely the duty differential should be further improved. Government has taken certain initiatives to improve it, and there has been a change recently, but I think with another change it will make the Indian industry as a whole far more competitive to global players, and we can compete with ease and also grow with ease overall.
All right, Mr. Shah, thank you so much for joining us on NDTV Profit and sharing with us your business plans for the new product category that you've entered, which is the ready-to-food category, ready-to-cook category. Let's now go across to Pankaj Poddar, who's standing by with all that is happening in the F&O space.